What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a new video. So it's springtime, which means one thing over here, and that is brumation is over and stuff is starting to wake up. So for the next series of videos, I'm going to show you guys most of my rattlesnake collection. So as a lot of you know, scrub pythons are my main focus in my collection, but almost as large of a portion of my collection are my venomous snakes, which are primarily rattlesnakes from the USA and from Mexico as well. So this first video will be all about my adult rattlesnakes from here in the US, some of my favorite snakes in the entire world. They're fascinating. I've spent time in the field with them. It really is something that I'm very passionate about. So I'm excited to show you guys some of my favorite rattlesnakes in the collection. So I'll start off here with a classic. This is my adult pair of Franklin Mountain banded rock rattlesnakes. These guys are a very classic look in the banded rock rattlesnakes. They're essentially the easternmost part of the population of this species. The Franklin Mountains, for those who do not know, are essentially in the center of the city of El Paso, Texas, where a lot of banded rock rattlesnakes can have some really cool modeling throughout their body, much tighter bands. The Franklin Mountain locality is known for these kind of spread apart, very high contrast bands, a really cool silver gray base color. These guys have had a litter from me before a couple years ago, and I have one incredible offspring raising up from these guys. Hopefully more babies from them in the future. So this here is another Franklin Mountain individual. He's not too happy as I pulled him to the front of the cage to film this video. But what's so cool about him is that he's from a line that has been pioneered by my good friend Kyle Vargas of these Franklin Mountain banded rock rattlesnakes, where, as you see, comparing this one to the pair we just looked at, his bands are essentially hollowed out, where they have, he has the black bands, but it kind of has like a silverish gray inside to the band that gives it that hollow look. This is, in my opinion, kind of the top look within the Franklin Mountain locality type. So I'm very fortunate to have this guy, hopefully to add his genetics to my Franklin Mountain clobberi in the next couple of years here. These guys here are a pair of my Alamo Waco banded rock rattlesnakes. So this is a locality type from New Mexico, and they are known for having some of the most vibrant colors within the United States clobberi. A lot of them are very green like these two. Some of them also have a lot of cool pink coloration on them as well, as I will show you here in a second. This is the male here, kind of checking out what I have going on. What I always love about these guys is that they do really well cohabitated and really well in display style enclosures. If you get their temperature parameters right and everything, you see a lot of cool natural behaviors. That makes me really enjoy having these guys and having a room set up like this. And here's my other pair of Alamo Waco clobberi. This is my other male right here, and it's a little hard to tell with the lighting the way it is, but he is really, really vibrant green. The green look within the clobberi is definitely one of the most sought after, and for very good reasons. Oftentimes, wild clobberi will be very green when then the captive bred counterparts have a little bit less of that, kind of the same akin to a lot of other species in the wild, like Bronia graminia, yellow tree monitors, etc., where they get into captivity and they lose some of that wild coloration, whether that be based on diet, lighting, wherever you stand on that debate. Definitely seems to happen across the board. This is my other female in the back, and you can't really see her too well based on her positioning, but she's really pink, which is one of the really cool aspects of this locality type. It's a lot of the times the females have really brilliant pink coloration, also to where kind of in her bands, it's hard to see, you can kind of see right there, where the bands themselves are almost like a really dark purple instead of black. So hopefully she'll have a litter at some point in the next couple of years, and hopefully he is the sire. I think their looks together would produce some killer offspring. All right, this here is a pair of my Pelenio banded rock rattlesnakes, also Crotalus lepidus clobberi. What's really cool about this species is just how variable they are. I mean, there are dozens and dozens of different unique locality types of this species with their own kind of unique color pattern differences that they can experience. But the male is a smaller one in the back. It's hard to tell, but he kind of has like a gold stripe down his back very faintly, which I think is a really, really cool look. And the female has some really cool pink tones to her as well. These guys, the Pelenio locality, are known for those really thick bars on their back, which is one of my absolute favorite aspects of them. I love all different looks of clobberi, like we looked at earlier with the Franklin Mountains with the thin bars, but these thick barred Palencios are really special. Here is another one of my Pelencio females. And as you can see, she has really, really thick banding that is just absolutely gorgeous. Her colors are very beautiful as well, but that banding is just super special. She is one that I've raised up from a baby. It has been a lot of fun to watch her grow up. And this year I'm planning on pairing her with that male you saw in the previous clip. And I think they would make an absolutely outstanding unrelated litter together. She is just absolutely gorgeous. I love that diamond that you saw on her back earlier as well. Just one of my favorite localities of this species, and for very good reason. They are absolutely incredible. All right, now this here is another locality of clobberi. This is the Big Hatchet locality, banded rock rattlesnake. And another really, really cool locality. Where they come from in New Mexico is really a relatively limited area compared to the size of the state of New Mexico. But within those, from mountain to mountain range, you can see some really extreme phenotype differences. This girl is really cool with that kind of pink coloration to her. Not quite as extreme on the banding as those Palencios or maybe the Alamo Wacos. Still a really, really unique locality type all onto their own. So this right here is a closely related species to the clobberi we've been looking at. This is a Waco Mountain locality lepidus or mottled rock rattlesnake. So the scientific name for the banded rock rattlesnake that we've been looking at is Crotalus lepidus clobberi. This is Crotalus lepidus lepidus. So kind of the type species for the species complex. These guys are also native to the US, where I said earlier that the banded rock rattlesnakes, the eastern extent of their range are the Franklin Mountains in El Paso, Texas. These guys right here in the Waco Mountains, that's essentially the westernmost range for the mottled rock rattlesnakes. For any of you unaware of the geography of the area, the Waco Mountains are about half an hour east of the Franklin Mountains. So it is really cool that these species vary so much despite being so close in proximity from a geographical standpoint. I mean, you could literally herp both of these in the same day back and forth if you wanted to. This is the female. They are fairly variable, male and female. They're sexually dimorphic, this species. And now we'll check out the male. All right, so here's that male Waco Mountain mottled rock rattlesnake. And as you can see, pretty different coloration from that female. He kind of has like a cool like peach-ish yellow coloration to him, when she's a little bit more kind of like a slate gray with some pink highlights to her as well. You can see some similarities and then also some differences with these and the banded rock rattlesnakes. Obviously, the bands themselves are a lot thinner than the banded rock rattlesnakes, and the coloration is a good bit different too. But otherwise, very, very similar snakes as far as their stature goes, their eventual size, everything about them. Behavior pretty similar as well. From what I've seen, these mottled rock rattlesnakes are a bit heavier on the feeding response than the banded rock rattlesnakes, but really all things considered, they're fairly similar. And again, just really beautiful. These guys are an American classic as far as the rattlesnakes go, and one that I'm very grateful to have as part of the collection. All right, now moving on to a different species, and one that is making a good bit of noise right now. These are black-tailed rattlesnakes. This population is from the Guadalupe Mountains in New Mexico, a locality where I also have some banded rock rattlesnakes from. We will check them out in a future video. Their coloration is a bit washed out due to the lighting, but this is one of the most golden localities of black-tailed rattlesnake that we have access to in the US hobby. The individuals from Arizona are pretty few and far between based on the laws of Arizona. So the ones that are from New Mexico are kind of what we have to work with, where collection is legal with the proper permits. And they're just absolutely incredible snakes. To me, black-tailed rattlesnakes are some of the most curious snakes in the entire world. They are defensively rattling a little bit as they're not used to having a camera or a phone stuck in their face. But even in the wild, these are very curious snakes. They're really not afraid of you very much. And oftentimes they will, in the room, when there isn't much commotion, they'll be kind of cruising the front, checking out what's going on. Really just a fascinating behavior for a snake. And it's really cool to see these guys interact in here. There's a third one tucked away, kind of see her over there. The male is the one that is to the left, another female to the right. Just one of the most incredible United States native venomous species right here, and super variable as well, like the banded rock rattlesnakes. This here is another pair of black-tailed rattlesnakes. These guys are from the Tinajas Altas mountains, if I'm saying that right. Uh, those mountains are particularly known for the white speckled rattlesnakes, not quite so much for the black-tailed rattlesnakes, but there are native blacktails out there, and they look a lot like this guy here on the left. The one on the right, she has a very unique look. I'm not sure if you can see in the video. She has kind of like blue eyes. She almost looks a bit like an axanthic. So really hoping to be able to try to produce that morph essentially sometime in the future. That was pretty cool, because I think that would be really, really cool. There aren't too many morphs within rattlesnakes kind of as a whole. So to have a cool project like this going, it's definitely something that I'm excited about. And if anything else, she's just an absolutely incredible snake. Really, really gorgeous animal. That's kind of one of the, for me, the pinnacles of my rattlesnake collection. All right, everybody, thank you for checking out that video. If you liked it, please subscribe here on the YouTube channel. I drop a new video every single Friday. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm on Instagram at Scrub Shepherd, Stephen Cush on Facebook, and Cush Reptile on Morph Market. I also host a podcast every Wednesday night called Cush's Corner on the Trap Talk Reptile Network, and that is at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, thank you guys for checking out the video, and I'll catch you all back here next week for a new one.